Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Emma. I like Disney musicals and all things cozy. Today we are going to be discussing Carrie Fletcher's latest tour, Love Letters. I went to see her in the London Palladium on October 1st. I believe the final date is in October the 15th in the Edinburgh Festival Theatre, so there's lots of time to go and see it still. The show is produced by Lambert Jackson, Coffin Taylor, Live Nation presentation. The director of the show is Ruthie Stevens. Musical supervisor and arranger is Ben Van Tynen, who also played keys in Carrie's other tour, An Open Book. The MD of the show is Malcolm Peckman. Carrie's band consists of Louis Dunsmore on guitar, Will Hillman on violin, David Hornberger on cello, and Kirsty MacLeod on violin. The formula to Love Letters was quite similar to the other tour she did last year, An Open Book, where she had the audience essentially vote for set list. She plays every single night. Rather than telling stories, it was all Carrie writing different letters about different love. She wrote a letter for her late uncle who passed away, who she remembered fondly. She even had a letter called Eponine, which was written for the character of Eponine. Put together this lovely little medley that consisted of songs like I Won't Say I'm in Love from Hercules, and she called out Marius for being a bit of an idiot, which I kind of appreciated because I've always found Marius quite, not worth pining for. I don't know what you're up to, Eponine girl, but he's not what he's cracked up to be, so I thought it was quite funny that she called that out and basically said, here's some ladies who would relate to you. I thought that was a fun concept. Love can have many forms. It could be parental, it could be familiar, it could have something to do with your career or self-development. There was a little bit of mix of everything, and I really appreciated that. It's such a cool concept to have the audience vote for the set list, because it effectively means that if you went to more than one date on this tour, you would get a completely different set list every night, and I think that is just kind of cool. One of my sort of personal favourites that made me stop was watching A Journey to the Past from Anastasia. Now, I think someone should get Carrie an audition for Anastasia if it ever comes to the West End, because first of all, I would love to see Anastasia on the West End. It's literally such an underrated musical and I love it so much. But Carrie would be the perfect choice. Like, I'm convinced after hearing it tonight. I've heard her sing it before, but there was something about this performance that's just fully convinced me she needs to play this role like yesterday. So last tour, Carrie had the tenor group Trinity touring with her as kind of her warm-up gig, and they did a rather longer set, I want to say, maybe 20-30 minutes even, before she did her show. And this year they've first of all effectively cut out the warm-up act altogether and instead have Carrie joined by three of her lovely colleagues, Bradley Jaden, Jamie Moscato and Ben Forster. Now, if you want to catch Jamie Moscato, whom Carrie worked with in Heathers, he is playing following venues on this tour: Guildford, Canterbury, Truro, Ipswich, Bath and Cardiff as well. And the handsome Bradley Jaden, this is not the first time I've thirsted over Bradley Jaden on this channel, so don't be surprised, to be in York, Glasgow, Birmingham and Edinburgh. And also finally Ben Forster, who Carrie had in her musical theatre band, the Cardinals. And he will be joining Salford and Gateshead, and then he is also the one I saw in the London Palladium. I had not seen Ben Forster in anything before, but he and Carrie sang Shallow from A Star Is Born, and their voices were like butter. They really blended together, and I really, after this, hope that they'll have a project in the future. They can work in a musical together or have a duet sometime, because they really sound good together. But A Star Is Born, and especially that song, Shallow, is not my favourite song of all time, let's just say. However, enjoyed every single minute of their rendition of it. It just goes to show how talented they are, because I was just singing along, and I've never done that before, singing the song. I just absolutely loved it. And then one other standout performance, unfortunately guys, I tried so hard for this video to research what song Carrie was singing, but there was this lovely moment where Carrie's mum was actually sat in the audience the night I was watching. Carrie was singing her this song that she hadn't sung since she was like 11 or 12 in this like school production kind of thing, I believe. And all I know is that it was taken from Cinderella, not the Andrew Lloyd Webber Cinderella and not the Rodgers and Hammerstein Cinderella. It was called Cinderella Thorns, something like that. I would have written it down, but I was just so blown away when she started singing the song. I think it might be the best I've ever heard her sing in my entire life, and I'm kicking myself now that I didn't write it down. Anyone who went to the Palladium that night, please, if you know the name of either the musical or the song that she sang in this moment, please let me know. And then another huge surprise and highlight of the show was when Carrie told a story about how she was cast in the Christmasaurus. So for those of you who don't know, Carrie's big brother is Tom Fletcher from McFly, and he is also a children's author and has written a book called The Christmasaurus, which he also a few years ago did a musical out of, that he cast Carrie in as one of the characters, and she was kind of telling the story about how she got cast and things like that, the process. And then in the middle of the story, Tom Fletcher actually bloody came out on stage. I'm not joking when I'm saying everyone in that audience audibly gasped. Everyone was like shook. What? Tom Fletcher is on stage? It was so cool. And they hadn't rehearsed what they were going to actually say. So they ended up telling a story about how many times that Tom has weed himself on the Palladium stage. And they started talking about we for like 5 minutes, and Carrie was like, "We've ruined it now, Tom, we've talked about we." And I thought that was so funny. Nice little genuine sibling moment there. They sang Don't Know What It Is from the Christmasaurus. And once again, the Fletchers are talented. This is a fact we already know. Their voices are beautiful together. It was just a really sweet moment. And I loved as well at the end when Carrie was like, "Okay guys, nothing is going to top this now, so you can relax." It was just like, first of all, Carrie is a force to be reckoned with anyway. She can sing My Taxes, I'm pretty sure, and I'd be happy to listen. Just loved that moment between Tom and Carrie. It was really, really sweet, and it felt really special. I'm not too sure Tom is going to join any other dates on the tour, so I really felt lucky to be there. Other section of the show that was really enjoyable is the section where Carrie picks a letter from the audience. Now she does this for every single venue, so if you go, there is a chance that your letter might get selected. The letter that got chosen in the Palladium was this lovely girl who'd written a letter to two of her best friends asking if they could, I can't remember, either be maid of honours or if they want to be bridesmaids. I think it was maid of honours. It was so lovely, and the girls who were, in the letter audibly gasped and like, and for anyone wondering, they did say yes, of course. And Carrie was like, "Oh, my heart's melting," and I was like, "My heart's melting." I'm pretty much sure everyone in that room was like, "This is the cutest thing ever." There's so many different letters probably that could be selected, so yeah, I hope she keeps doing that, to be honest, on all of her tours, even if like letters can't be the theme of every tour she does. I think this is something she should probably bring over to her next tour as well, if she does one, because it's so lovely. But I want to go into the merch. I completely black out every time I go into the theatre and I buy merch. I usually just come out with a bag and I'm like, why did I spend hundreds of pounds? But for this one, I had some more thinking time, because for this is absolutely insane. I understand that this show was only one night only in the Palladium, and typically a show would be there longer than that, but this was like a touring production, so the demand for the merch was quite high last year, which is why this year you could actually purchase a lot of the merch online prior to going to the show. It didn't seem like anyone actually did that, and even the people who did still wanted to buy more. So the merch queue was, I'm not joking, a mile long, and it was literally going up the stairs. I was one of the first people to come to the theatre, guys, and it took me 40 minutes in the queue to actually get my merchandise, and people were very rudely complaining about how long it was going to take and things like that, and I was just like, I'm fine waiting here. But it made me feel really, really anxious, because the amount of people that was standing in this queue, I feel like the Palladium didn't expect the demand to be there so much, especially with it being able to be purchased online. The reason why I personally didn't is because a lot of the things that I wanted was already sold out, so I didn't have a chance to buy it online. However, I do think this is no criticism sort of towards Carrie's team or Carrie, or because this is, in my opinion, purely a venue thing and the Palladium thing. I just think they could have accommodated it better, and hopefully this is information they can use to better the next tour, because I feel like there's going to be a next tour because the success of this has been great. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't very well organised, and the reason why I'm saying this is because there was only 2 tills with 2 people operating them. You couldn't even get a programme in the break. Like usually there's people sort of walking around in other theatres where you can buy the programme in the break, sat in your seat pretty much. People come up to you and you can get the programme that way. There's loads of, like, I remember there was a dad in the queue who was like, can I buy a programme later? And they were like, no, you have to stand in this queue. And it's like, well, what if he just wanted to buy his daughter a programme and that be it kind of thing? Lots of people just want to buy the programme and they don't want the wearables and the pins and the things. So I think at least for the programmes, they could have gone to more effort of having a separate booth or something where you could buy the programmes, or like I said, had just more than 2 people's operating the tills. I felt so bad for the girls who worked there. I literally made sure to tell them they were doing a good job because I just felt so stressed, and I felt really anxious standing in the queue as well, but it was worth it for the merch. They might just organise it slightly better, have more queues, have more than one option to buy the merch, because the demand's there and they would make more money, so it's kind of a win-win. Again, no shade to Carrie or her team, it's purely a theatrical thing, and I know each venue on this tour is probably different and operated by different people, and there's only so much Carrie's team can do about this. So I think obviously having the merch online was a really good idea, and it solved a lot of issues, but for this specific venue, the organisation wasn't the best with the merch. Anyway, we have this lovely maroon Carrie Hope Fletcher love letters on it, but I have to say the quality of the hoodie is really lovely. Like, it's really soft, and they had some t-shirts and things as well that you can buy, but this is just what I thought looked the coolest. You can also see on the back of the hoodie you have the tour dates. Next up, obviously, we have the lovely programme. Now, the programme last year had more to it. In my opinion, there was more pictures and things. This is still really lovely. I do really like the cover of Carrie holding up a love letter. And here you can see Act 1 and Act 2, sort of highlighting the options of the letter titles that you could vote for. You would scan the QR code and then vote for what letter you want, and then there will be a secret song attached to it. A few of them was To the Memories, Dear Butterflies, Dear Thunder and Lightning, Dear Eponine, To a Promise. Yeah, that's just a few different titles. And then there's just, some advertisements and things. A little bit about the band. There's also a word search here, which I quite enjoy. I'm going to definitely be doing that later. Carrie Hope Fletcher Love Letters maroon tote bag. Now, this tote bag is so cute. I wasn't initially going to get it, but I needed something to carry all my merch in. And next up, we have this really, really beautiful item. Now, this was definitely, when it was released, I knew this was going to sell out immediately. She released this a couple of months ago before the tour, and you could get it online, but it sold out so fast, and I definitely know for a fact they probably sold it out that night as well. I don't think everyone went home with this. It's so lovely. It's a little necklace with it's basically a love letter. So it's an envelope. You can open it up, and inside there is a little letter from Carrie that says, "All my love, Carrie," which I thought was so cute. And then you can literally put the letter back in the envelope. And that's just so cute. If I could choose a favourite piece of merchandise from this tour, it would definitely be the necklace. All in all, I think the tour this year felt familiar to last year, and it was also perfect if you've never seen Carrie before, because there was a little bit of some newer songs that I don't think she's gotten the chance to perform before, and also some classic ones that we've heard on her album. And I think it was a nice little, I think she definitely tweaked some of the things from last year, I think shortening down the amount of other people on the tour and having focus on her, I think that was perfect. Because it didn't feel, last year I remember, as much as I loved Trinity, it felt a bit long in places. So it was good to just have her with a few guests. I think that kind of worked better, although that probably was more exhausting for Carrie. And just also the beautiful set design, the familiarity of having, you know, the books there and things like that, but also having a couch and all the beautiful letters in the backdrop. It just made it feel really cozy and really homey. And her beautiful band did such a good job as well. They deserve more credit for sure. They just created a really like nice atmosphere, and I just feel like everyone who worked on this tour, pat yourself on the shoulder. You did well. If you have a chance to catch Love Letters by Carrie Hope Fletcher, I would highly endorse it and highly recommend it. 5 stars from me. Definitely go and see it if you can. Like I said, the tour is going to finish on October the 15th, so it's a very limited time. If you have a chance to go, let me know what songs she sang in your venue, if you have a chance. And also, like I said, if you know that Cinderella song, please let me know, because I'm dying to know. Okay, thank you for watching my video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you love Carrie Hope Fletcher, give this a thumbs up so I know to make more videos about her. And until next time, stay fabulous. Bye!